Grand
Good
Route.
morning, Omega listeners. Right about now, we're getting ready to speak and hear from a proud sponsor here today. We have Catherine Shapiro in the building with us, and she's coming to you with Creative Space. So we ask that you'll go ahead and stay tuned in and don't touch that dial.
Every day is so wonderful, and suddenly it's hard to breathe. Now and then I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say.
As it relates to this coronavirus and
I am beautiful.
Tune in and listen. Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 10:30 with your host, Catherine. Hi, good morning, everybody out there in Omega Radio land. Things are a little busy this morning. God knows everybody's got a busy schedule, and we love that you're here listening to us, bring you creative ideas, great guests, and wonderful ways that you can live a more creative life. Today on line we have Diana. She is the wonderful, wonderful online gallery owner of Serenity Art on Facebook. We will have her all of her contact information throughout the show. If you are listening, Diane, how are you doing, girlfriend?
Hi, Catherine.
Hello.
Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely.
It's nice to be here.
We love having you. And what we had originally, where we had originally met, was online in your creative space called the Serenity Art Gallery. And there's also a working group that you have called Art for the Soul. Yes, ma'am?
Wait a minute. So, yes, you're talking about. I have two Facebook groups. Yes, one of my Facebook groups is the Art of Soul, a creative journey, and then I've had that Facebook group for several years, and then I have more recently I have a new Facebook group called Visual Artists with Disabilities and Chronic Illness.
That is exactly what we wanted to focus on today. When I heard about that, I was totally pleased to learn that you would be calling in. I know for a fact that there's a lot of people out there who believe that if you have any kind of physical limitation, artistic endeavors are out for you. That is simply not the case. Am I right? Absolutely. So,
yes.
Tell me a little bit about yourself as an artist and how you decided to start this particular group.
So, I'm an artist with a vision disability it was not a lifelong vision disability. I had completely normal vision my whole life until my early 40s when it was a hereditary, extremely rare retinal disease presented itself. And I am not totally blind because most people do not know that blindness is on a spectrum that starts at 2200 vision and then goes all the way to total blindness with all different kinds of blindnesses in between. So I'm highly functioning with the 2200 vision where legal blindness starts. And so more recently, I started this group. It's very recent. So called a Facebook group called Visual Artists with Disabilities and Chronic Illness because I wanted to bring together a community of people that I feel like there's a lot of people out there that, and we don't, and that most people don't know that there's a lot of people with disabilities also that are invisible disabilities and chronic illnesses, and I just want to bring together this community of people and have support each other and like for that reason.
Absolutely. We decided to form the creative space here with our partners at Omega Radio just for that purpose, to get all artists of every ability and every genre together and to say, hey, we are here for you, we will support you, and we love to have you. What is your favorite media to work in right now?
Oh, I have two favorite mediums, and I like them. Well, I have two favorite mediums. My one favorite medium is acrylic paint with collage, and using both together in the same painting, and the other one is a digital painting, which I use my iPad Pro because I can hold it right up to my face and also zoom things in. So I've been doing digital art for around 10 years. So those, and I use them interrelatedly also. Like I'll create something in digital and I'll work out the composition, and then I create, and then I grid it and then enlarge it up onto the canvas for acrylic mixed media painting. Or I might create a face because I love face and figurative. So I create a face digitally and then actually and glue that into my painting and then paint on top of that.
Well, that is fabulous. I know there are lots of tools out there to assist people with every ability and every issue that you can think of that have to make adjustments based on whatever their issue is. I have some days where holding a pencil, holding a pen is a problem, so I go to a bigger brush. I go to crayons. You accommodate, you adapt, and you achieve. That's what happens.
Yeah, that's right.
Absolutely. So I know you, by nature, are a very positive person, and I'm wondering what you would have to say to people just starting out.
Just starting out. So I think it would depend on, I would say something different depending on what age they were. So like a younger person, well, actually I had that experience of, I taught art for 25 years in a public school district full time at the elementary school age. And so I always was working with young people that always dreamed of saying they wanted to be like me. And I thought that was wonderful. And they want to grow up and be an artist. And so I encourage them, and just for young people, for children and stuff, I just tried to give them as much support and like, teach them and encourage them to create art outside of school, especially, and have a sketchbook. And for older people, because yes, it's never too late to be an artist. In fact, I have a YouTube channel. I've had it for 7 years. I have 1,000 videos that I've created on this channel. And one of my videos, maybe in the past few months, I created a video called "It's Never Too Late to Be an Artist."
There you go. That's exactly what we are looking for. And I know a lot of people who would love to hear from you in regards to any tips and tricks and techniques. And so we'll post your YouTube channel on my Facebook page for sure. And a lot of the contact information and the for further information ideas that we get will run at the bottom of our screen. We also have an absolutely wonderful engineer back over there in the corner. And we are so grateful to our partners here at Omega Radio for all the help that they give us every show. And they always make me look good no matter what, which is fabulous. So tell me about your next upcoming event. I hear that you have one.
Oh, yes. That's coming up just next week. And we're already doing the previews for it. I'm in a Facebook online art auction called the Eclectic Art Auction, ECLECTIC, Eclectic Art Auction, that I'm a participant in twice a year. and it's on Facebook. And if you just looked up, well, I gave you the link for it.
Oh, yes,
but on
ma'am.
Facebook, if
And
you
I've
looked
got
up
it, and we'll go ahead and post it.
eclectic art auction, and if you didn't have the link, you could also just search for it on Facebook. And and it starts Monday, July 3rd, and goes to the 6th. But we're broken up into 3 groups because there's 30 participating artists. So I'm in the first group. So my work will be on sale in the auction. I have 5 paintings in the auction only for all day. July 3rd starts at 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, and then goes till 12 noon Tuesday, July 4th. And then the second group shows, and then the third group.
That is terrific. We will definitely share that information on all our social media platforms as we can.
Thank you.
No problem at all. I wonder if is your... I know we had talked quite a bit last night about how you have dealt with adversity over the years. And sometimes everybody gets stuck. What happens when you get stuck? How do you get unstuck?
So I believe in a bunch of different tools. I don't think one thing could work. So, and if one tool doesn't work, like for helping yourself, if I'm in depression or something or discouraged, if one tool doesn't help, then there's I have access to a bunch of different tools. Like, for example, some tools like prayer, or what I call a spiritual exercise. Also art journaling, so that to bypass the inner critic. If I do art journaling that's very intuitive, where I just do it very intuitively and quickly to bypass the inner critic, and I just intuitively reach for the materials I want to use, and don't think about it and don't second guess myself, and that's very freeing. And other tools are positive affirmations, meditation. There's an app I really love for all different kinds of meditations. Gratitude list, call a friend, regular writing journaling.
I know what you mean.
Those are some of the things.
Yeah, I have done regular journaling for a number of years, and it's really helpful. I actually have a class here locally that you can sign up for. And if you would like to go to my Facebook page, it's facebook.com/readingsfromcat. Just like the animal. My webpage is in a little bit in transition today. It's off for maintenance. So I'll send you guys over to my Facebook page. I'm new to Instagram and Twitter and all the other wonderful social media outlets that we have out there. So you will be able to find me. And you can find Diana, too, at the Serenity Art Gallery and Art for the Soul, a Creative Journey.
My website is www.serenitystudioart.com.
Perfect.
Thank
you so much.
And all my handles on all the social media platforms are all Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's all Serenity Studio Art. If you look Serenity Studio Art, you'll find me.
Perfection. I'm so glad you're here today.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think
Thank you.
Absolutely. What do you think is your biggest challenge right now? And how are you trying to overcome it?
My biggest, just always trying to maintain a positive attitude as I can. Also self-care and self-love. I'm working on that a lot, like through positive affirmations and adjusting my attitude and things like that. I'm working a lot on that because I have a bad habit of, over the years, a lot of my life, of beating myself up. I do have that, and so I'm really trying to work on right now on a lot of self-care, self-love practices.
It's that inner critic that gets in artist's way all the time, and it's like trying to get out of your own way. One of the ways I understand the inner critic is that you your brain is a photographer. It's a poet. It's a musician. It does what it does. And it believes everything you tell it. If you tell it you are a beautiful, wonderful person and the best artist in the world, that's exactly what you will become. We always forget, because we are so sensitive to some of these messages and impulses from other people, is that God loves us unconditionally. The way we are, the way we were created, and we were well and beautifully made. Each of us has a purpose. And I'll tell you, I am so glad that you seem to have found yours, and I'm glad you tried to pass some of that along to the next generation, because that is what is truly important, I think.
Yes.
Mhm.
I have I have some quotes that actually I like to look at inspirational quotes through the day too. And here's one I found from the Calm app, CALM. I like that app. Reframe yourself. If you reframe your self-talk, you rewire your brain.
That's exactly right. They've done studies in neurology circles and magazines that I've read that have said that you can literally reform your brain by the way you talk to it. This is especially true with kids and people who are forming new connections in their brain, people who've been brain injured, that sort of thing. There are lots of ways that they can come back to their old self, and one of them, believe it or not, is art and music. They do all kinds of art therapy, they do music therapy. All kinds of different solutions to one problem is how to get your mind to catch up with the fact that you really are as beautiful as you think you are. That's one of the reasons why we picked the theme song for the show, was that we felt, I felt for sure that I wanted people to feel beautiful from the moment they got on the air with us. And I hope you're feeling beautiful today.
Yes, thank you. And I have two other quotes to share. Well, I have a quote that I created myself.
Go for it.
I came up with this quote myself. You don't need to see 2020 to have artistic vision.
That is so the truth. And I asked you a question last night about your vision. Is it any different, or is your actual paintings or results any different from before you lost your sight as to after?
No, because like I said, most people don't know blindness is on a spectrum. So I'm legally blind, but legal blindness starts at 2200 vision. That's what I have. I have 2200 vision, and then goes to blindness can go all, and there's all different blindnesses in between, and can go to total blindness. But my blindness will not get worse, and it's bottomed out. But at 2200 vision, it's an invisible disability. I have no mobility issues. So by looking at me, you can't tell, but I do have to use a magnifying glass, and it's mostly all day long for reading and stuff. But no, I'm highly functioning, and it did not impact the kind of art that I create. I would create the same kind of art, like most likely now, like what I'm creating now, even if I didn't have a vision disability, I would still create the same kind of art.
Do you find that you're using your other senses in different ways that you hadn't used them before?
One thing I have to do is that I wear this magnifying glass around my neck, and I'm using it almost all day long, and I get very intensive of like using my eyes like all day long, and sometimes I have to stop and I'm like, this is too much. I'm just using my eyes too much. Even though I don't get a headache or anything, I just get exhausted and thinking like it's just too much using my eyes. And I have to actually make myself step back and say, what else could I do besides using my eyes so much? It's like, okay, let me listen to music, or let me listen to an audio book or something. And actually it's hard for me to tear myself away from just using my eyes so much that I really do need to step back and I should use my other senses more.
Absolutely. Sometimes people don't realize how important some of those senses are until you lose them. One of the things that's interesting about Parkinson's is that people don't know is that losing your sense of smell is a really early indicator of the
Oh.
disease. So it's all kinds of things that you never even thought of that can show you or lead you to a right diagnosis or right place. And a lot of diseases that mimic other things or they're maybe cousins to one another can be a little confusing for doctors, and the journey gets to be a really long one, which one of these days I think we can talk about. But I thought it would be a very good idea to talk to you and to make sure that people knew about your new blog and could share information. Be happy to find a happy medium where we can all live and work together. One of the goals of the creative space is to actually enter the physical space and create a place where artists can actually go to events, get together, and collaborate on larger projects. So I know we will be talking to each other again, and just so that everybody knows, and some of you may have arrived a little bit late, this is Diane from the Serenity Art Gallery, and I am Catherine Shapiro, your host in the creative space. We are here on 101.9 Omega Radio, broadcasting live with our call-in guest, wonderful artist, and anybody else who has a question. Come on by, get on Facebook with us, chat live, call the studio. Local number is 954-773-4444. You can get with us online on OmegaRadioChurchRadio.com. It's www.OmegaChurchRadio.com. We are really very happy to hear from all our listeners. And before I do forget, I got a shout out from my Lyft driver who brought me here in record time and is my very first listener that I've ever met in person outside of the studio and outside of the radio station. He's a resident of the lovely country of Jamaica, and he was a terrific, wonderful driver. So I'm going to get his information, post it on my page, post it on Facebook. If you're still out there, he can also call in and join us, because we are always looking and listening for happy, optimistic people to help Omega Radio spread the good message generated by public, listener-supported radio. If you love Omega Radio, get out there and support Omega Radio. So, we hope you have some really good luck with the auction.
Oh, thank you.
We will definitely want to talk to you soon. Again, one more time. For those of you who are on the go and maybe missing the broadcast, we actually post it on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe, and you can find the show directly by searching for The Creative Space with Catherine Shapiro. Subscribe to the Omega Radio YouTube channel. It's absolutely wonderful. There's lots of good messages across that. The Real Talk Show with Bishop Wallace. We are in telethon mode right now, and we are so happy to hear from you, our listeners. So if you've got a good story, an event you can share, something fun, a restaurant, a local institution that patronizes the arts, Bring it on. We are here, and we will help you spread your good message throughout our listening area, which is definitely a good-sized one. We've gone from North Carolina to Jamaica and all the way down here into beautiful South Florida. Come on, South Floridians. I know you're out there. Call in. Get more great tips for living a creative life. Tell us your experiences with some of the techniques that we have brought out. I have one of the greatest things that I've ever received for a birthday present was my little Echo Dot Alexa. She has a lot of really good positive affirmations, and I use them every day. And the neat thing about affirmations is that, not only does your brain believe what you tell it, it believes most of what it sees, and it stores it away so that you can find it later if you know how to look for it. Keep it on the phone. Write it down. The minute you get out of bed, if you've got a thought in your head, put it there. Put it on paper. I used to actually be able to keep a recording device, like a little tape recorder, the kind you used to carry to college classes, right next to my bed. And anytime I had a thought, when I woke up in the morning, I just flip it on and just say it. Because certain things need to be said and they should not get lost. We want to make sure great artists like Diana don't get lost. And we want to make sure that everybody out there with unique abilities and perspectives that don't always get heard get the support that they need to be successful. So keep tuned in, keep listening, keep watching. Like I said, we're on Facebook, we are on Twitter, we are on YouTube, and we are out there just for you.
Can I share a quote, a quote with you?
Please do.
Oh, yeah. So here's something to do with creativity. We often feel stuck because we think our problems only have one solution, and it's not available to us. But we all have a MacGyver within. We can all look beyond the apparent need and find a creative approach.
Mm-hmm.
That again is from the Calm app that I listen to a lot.
Oh yeah, there are a whole bunch of good ones out there for that too.
Yeah, because because there's so many different ways to be creative. Some people think, "Oh, I'm not creative," but see, just being an artist. I mean, you can be an artist, you're a musician, and be involved in the arts or writing and stuff. But there's other ways to be creative in your life, and creative thinking doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an artist.
It just means you have to think outside the box, whatever box you put yourself in, right?
Yeah.
Society is fond of boxes and labels. I'm not. Partially because they make you believe that you know and you understand a person when you really haven't gotten to know them yet.
Yeah, right.
Right. So, I'm always reluctant to put specific labels on people, partially because of that reason. We are going to be able to get one last word in. I think if you had a last word to say to our listeners out there, what would you say, Diana?
Well, I would say I'd give you a quote from Albert Einstein. Creativity is intelligence having fun.
That is fabulous. I love that one. That is a good one. I am going to write that down. We are here on Omega Radio.
Okay.
Writing all this wonderful stuff down and getting you out there, and I am so glad you came and joined us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so nice to be here.
Very good. We will be in touch. Thank you so much, Diana.
Okay. Thank you, Catherine. Okay. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Take care. Okay. since I believe we've got a little less than a minute left, so what I would like to do is say hi to everybody out there in my Omega listening area and send you my own message of kindness, justice, truth, and peace. We are here for you in the creative space every Wednesday, 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Omega Radio 101.9 FM. Thanks to all the great engineers and the wonderful people here at Omega Radio. We love you. We need you. Get out there, everybody, and support Omega Radio. And like I always say, if you love Omega Radio, support Omega Radio. We are here, and we will be here same time, same place. Take care, everybody. Tune in and listen to Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 10:30 with your host, Catherine Shapiro.
All right, Omega listeners, you were just tuned in to Creative Space with your host, Catherine Shapiro. We do hope that you enjoyed today's program. We here in the studio enjoyed today's program, and I hope that you'll tune in next week, Wednesday, at the same time of 10:30 a.m. right here on Omega Radio. Thank you so much for tuning in today.